Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Just finishing up Memorial Day weekend here in the US. Lots of activities going on with just being off of work. I've got wedding plans that are happening. They're kind of winding down. I'm less than 2 months away from my wedding, and that means less than 2 months away from leaving this apartment and transferring all of this stuff to a new music room in my new home, and setting up a new basement down there for music listening, etc. So very exciting times ahead. My buddy Tommy over at Tommy's Musical Adventures, you know Tommy. If you don't, his channel's below, specifically his video that he posted that kind of jump started this thread. Tommy wants his viewers, his subscribers, his friends to show 5 great debut records. Now, this is not, an original idea. Tommy would be the first to tell you it's not an original idea. But it's a fun thing to do because our opinions change over time about what we think of as a great debut record, or we learn about new music, and so we want to show 5 more great debut records. So I can't remember if I've done this video or not. I think I did it one time as a theme on the old Wednesday night live stream that I used to be a part of with my friends Rob, Alex, Jason, and Glenn. I think we did this as a theme in some capacity, but I want to show 5 records here that I think are pretty near perfect records for a debut. And now a lot of times, you get a debut that, it might be a little bit choppy, or it might be something that, the debut hits really hard and then nothing else is great, because the whole thing is, you have a lifetime to write the first record and only a few months to write the second. So a lot of times the debut is the strongest work of a band, and unfortunately that happens a lot of times, and bands will either burn out or, put out some mediocre stuff that never quite matches that initial magic. But anyway, I have 5 records here. I've shown all these records in some capacity. Obviously, these are going to have more of an Americana slant to them, given the channel name. The one caveat that Tommy gives us is that he doesn't want us to show, those quick bands that, came in and out, had a record, a few records, 2 or 3 records, and kind of left. He's wanting us to really push and try to get a band or an artist that's had an extensive discography. So I've done that with these 5 artists here. So I'm just going to jump into these in no particular order. The first record that I pulled is the debut by Old Crow Medicine Show. It is simply titled OCMS. Again, Old Crow Medicine Show, a old-time kind of string band originating out of Harrisonburg, Virginia, but have been in Nashville now for several years. Recently off of their 25th anniversary tour, so they've been around for a good bit of time. The song Wagon Wheel that came from this record. It was made as a cover by Darius Rucker, which is not the version that you need in your life. You need this one, but great stuff. You have Ketch Secor, the leader, multi-instrumentalist, main singer, and he put together a really great band of guys here. I've seen Old Crow multiple times. I'm seeing them again in October with my at that point will be my wife. But some of their standard songs are on here. Tell It to Me, which is an old takeoff of Cocaine Blues. Big Time in the Jungle, Poor Man, Tear It Down, CC Rider. Yeah, check out the song on here, Take 'Em Away, which is sung by Critter Fuquay, who is kind of the co-leader of the band at that time. This first album was produced by David Rawlings, and this is the first ever vinyl reissue that came out last year on Gillian Welch's and David Rawlings' label. Was it Magnolia Records? Aconi Records, excuse me. But this is kind of the album that jump-started that folk revival scene in the 2000s, and it's fantastic. So check out the song Tell It to Me, check out the song Take 'Em Away, and listen to the song, their version of CC Rider. Really, really good stuff. And then they have Wagon Wheel too. So Old Crow Medicine Show for the first record of great debuts. Again, also called OCMS. Next, I wanted to show my boy Michael Nesmith and the First National Band. Now, I'm considering this Michael Nesmith's debut. Technically, he had another album called The Wichita Train Whistle Sings, which was like an instrumental album of Monkees tunes with like big band kind of production. But this is his first true debut. It's all original stuff, mostly. Uh, it was his project right after the Monkees, the First National Band. Now, Tommy will give me grace on this. Technically, the First National Band only had 3 records, but Michael Nesmith used some of these guys on later records. So it's technically it's one of 3 records by the First National Band, but it was kind of the vein that Michael Nesmith was going in for the remainder of his career. And Nez put out a lot of records. The big songs, well, the big songs. His one of his only top 40 hits, maybe his only top 40 hit. Tommy, you can correct me. Maybe Rio later on, but his song Joanne was a moderate hit. But great tunes on here. 9 Times Blue, which dated back to the Monkees days. Calico Girlfriend, Little Red Rider. Those are all great songs. Beyond the Blue Horizon is a pretty song. So if you like that country rock, kind of that cosmic-y kind of sound that was big for Graham Parsons, the Eagles, Emmylou Harris, all that stuff, check out Magnetic South by the First National Band. A great debut. Next, I'm going to go with one of my favorite albums ever, Closing Time by Tom Waits. Again, if you only know Tom Waits for Swordfish Trombones or Rain Dogs or Mule Variations or even like Frank's Wild Years, this is a different Tom Waits. This is the Tom Waits that we get on this album and then his second album, The Heart of Saturday Night. But this came out in 1971, 73. This is the reissue 45 RPM double record that was put out, again, a couple years ago. But great songs on here. I Hope That I Don't Fall in Love with You. The opening track on here, Old 55, which was covered by the Eagles. Martha, Grapefruit Moon is on here. Ice Cream Man, Rosie. It's just so many beautiful like saloon kind of jazz tunes. Definitely like a singer-songwriter album, more in lines with like early Randy Newman kind of stuff. You don't really have that rough and gruff, growly voice that Tom Waits would use for pretty much the rest of his career. It's a really, really different album. It's my favorite Tom Waits album. So Closing Time by Tom Waits at number 3. Number 4, I'm going to go with this guy. This is actually the first album that I thought of to use. I know Tommy's a fan of this. Marshall Crenshaw, self-titled. Again, you would know Marshall as a bit part actor in the movie La Bamba. He plays Buddy Holly in a scene briefly. Definitely pulled from like the rockabilly sounds of the 50s and early 60s. Big influence from Buddy Holly, from Everly Brothers, that kind of stuff. And this is a really, again, a fantastic record. It's got it's 80s, but it doesn't really have that 80s feel to it. I mean, it doesn't feel like it fits into any decade. I mean, it's definitely got the the 50s sound, the 60s sound, the Buddy Holly kind of beats, but also kind of maybe a little bit of new wave thrown in there as well. I mean, with that cover, you kind of have to. But great tunes on here. Look up the songs, Someday, Some Way, Cynical Girl, and Mary Ann. Those are big tunes. Soldier of Love is also another good one, but really, really good stuff. He just has a great sound to him. So Marshall Crenshaw and his self-titled debut, it's just fantastic on Warner Brothers. And then lastly, obviously, I've got to go with the self-titled by John Prine. This is the spot you need to start with John Prine. No, it doesn't, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is where you should start with John Prine. It's greatest hits, Angel from Montgomery, Paradise, Far From Me, Hello in There, Sam Stone, Donald and Lydia, Pretty Good, Quiet Man, Your Flag Decal Won't Get You Into Heaven Anymore. I mean, all of these songs, these are the songs that John Prine would continue playing in his set right up until his passing in 2020. And yeah, again, just great singer-songwriter. funny lyrics, heartfelt lyrics. A lot of these lyrics have a deeper meaning than what they appear to be on the outside. You know, some people look at Donald and Lydia as just like a funny, you know, love song, you know, with you know, fantasies and that kind of thing. But really, it's a sad tale about, you know, a war veteran, a war or soldier really, who is thinking of, you know, somebody far away because he's, you know, in these terrible situations. Sam Stone is about addiction. Paradise, though it's an upbeat tune, is about, you know, deforestation and you know, rural Kentucky during in the coal mine community. So a lot of really deep stuff on here. John Prine writing great songs at such a young age. I think he was just 23 or so when that record came out, but already a well-weathered singer-songwriter. So there you go, Tommy. There's my 5. Let me know if you all do a video. Please let Tommy know. Again, I'm going to put his video below. He's a great guy. Sub him up. He's been around on YouTube for a long time and deserves a lot of love. So let me know what you think of these records. Again, they're not surprises in my collection, but always worth showing them when I can. So that's all I got for y'all today. In the meantime, y'all be good. Take care. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye now.